it's gotten to just a new point of lunacy where we're like, wow, like, this party doesn't even exist anymore because they don't even have anything real. Welcome back to the show. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get to the first topic. Hillary Clinton is, for some reason, now praising Donald Trump. Go ahead, roll the clip.
I actually was encouraged by the events of the last several months. First of all, the NATO commitment by individual member states to increase their defense spending is very welcome. It's something that prior administrations have certainly sought, and I think it's great that we are seeing these commitments that now have to be followed through on. The willingness of European countries to support Ukraine, and by doing so, buy American weapons in order to provide them to the Ukrainians. I think all of that is a very good signal that there is beginning to be a better understanding, both by the president and the people around him, as well as by the leaders of our European allies, that there can be common ground amongst us. And the kind of dismissiveness that we saw in the first Trump administration has been replaced by a much more obvious working relationship to the good of European security, transatlantic security, and hopefully Ukrainian security. So I'm actually encouraged.
Yeah, so why do you think Hillary is just praising Trump all of a sudden? I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. She's terrified of what's happening with the whole Russia hoax, and, you know, how her and Obama basically colluded with the CIA and FBI to put out fake information to try to overthrow Trump in 2016. Hillary hates Donald Trump, okay? So if she's out there saying anything nice about Trump, it's obviously because basically she's terrified of what's happening with the whole Russia hoax investigation. And yeah, just know that she doesn't want anything to do with Trump, and she would never, ever praise the guy unless she's just trying to get on the guy's good graces and, you know, hopefully get some sort of leniency. But Trump's too smart for that. He's just like, yeah, Hillary, I see right through it. I'm not giving you any sort of leniency. I'm basically taking you down. And hopefully we start seeing some arrests and some prosecutions here, because that's what we voted for. That's what Trump, you know, said he was going to do, basically clean the swamp. But all right, let's get to the next topic here. Bill Maher is calling out the Democrats for being too afraid to go on his show. Roll the clip.
People ask me all the time, why haven't you ever had Hillary or Bill Clinton on? Why didn't you have Kamala on during the last campaign? You think we don't ask? We ask these people every week. They say no. It took 8 years and a petition to get Obama on. And these are people, all people I voted for. Think about that. They're afraid to come on the show of a guy who voted for them. The Republicans, they show up. And when they do, they take their beating like a man.
Of course they're too afraid to go on the guy's show. They're not going to go on any sort of show where they have to actually answer real questions, right? They're only going to go on a show that's going to give them the questions in advance, and they're going to be pro questions for whatever their agenda is, right? It's not like they're going to go on and do any sort of tough, hard-hitting interview where they're actually grilled on any sort of topic, right? That's just the Democrats in a nutshell. And Republicans, they don't care what the topic is. Yeah, hit me with anything. I'm here to talk, and I'm not afraid to talk, right? These Democrats, they can't talk for longer than 10 minutes unless they have somebody feeding them questions to give them something else to talk about for the next 10 minutes, so they could just give you their canned answers and just basically, you know, not even do a real interview. If it's a real interview, the Democrats will not do it. That's just plain and simple, bar none. I mean, you have to kind of at least give Gavin Newsom, as much as I hate the guy, you got to give him a little bit of credit for going out and doing a couple of those podcasts. And I guess he started his own podcast that probably doesn't even exist anymore, but he actually went out there and had interviews and answered questions from people that were actually answering or asking real questions, right? So it's hilarious how people like want to pretend like the Democrats can actually do an interview or do a podcast. It's like, why didn't Kamala go on Joe Rogan? Yeah, she didn't want to go on Joe Rogan, okay? They want to pretend like she did, but no, she couldn't handle 3 hours of Joe Rogan actually having a legitimate conversation. Right? It's not even like, oh my God, is he going to answer hard-hitting questions? It's like, she can't have a conversation for 3 hours, let alone, 30 minutes, right? That's all the Democrats. You bring Jasmine Crockett in, it's going to be the same thing. AOC, just basically all of them. Hillary, they can't have a real interview. It has to be fake, already given questions, so they know exactly what they're going to say. They can't go off the cuff and just say anything that they want because they're too dumb, and their agenda doesn't call for that, right? Like they would make them sound way too stupid if they actually had to answer a question with a real answer rather than just some canned agenda-driven answer. But all right, let's get to the next topic here. Alec Baldwin posted some sort of wild rant to his social media about Trump federalizing everything. Go ahead, roll the clip.
What's going to happen next? Is Trump going to federalize the New York City Police Department? What's after that? Chicago, LA, Miami, Boston, and on and on. What's after that? The NFL, the NBA, you're going to federalize them and take them over? All he wants to do is deflect from his inadequacy by these bold, insane moves. Take over DC police. It's not what I need. I don't need this DC police to be taken over. I don't. I need to get the tariffs over with. I need to get the war over with. I need to get the Gaza thing over with. And after that, we have something else we have to get over with.
Yeah, these people are just so lost that they have nothing real to complain about anymore. All they could do is go out there and just make up stupid scenarios that are never going to happen and just are completely fake to try to make them sound smart, like they know what's going to happen. And basically, whenever they do this, and they do these stupid unhinged rants and they actually post them on social media, like, I don't know what would ever possess somebody to post things like this on social media. They're just trying to sound smart and they just come off as extremely stupid, right? Like, oh, what's he gonna do next? Federalize the NFL and the NBA and, control that? It's so stupid, right? That now they have gotten to the point where they are actually protesting and fighting crime and making streets safer in America. Like, you never thought we'd actually get to this point where people are protesting, fighting crime and safety, right? They're protesting their own safety, but we're actually here. That's the lunacy that the Democrats have gone to, because everything for them is about hating Donald Trump, right? Oh, Donald Trump's doing that? Oh, we're going to think the exact opposite and we're going to claim the exact opposite, right? So it's just like, with this Mamdani guy in New York, I feel like he's just the anti-Trump candidate, so we're going to vote this guy in just to piss off Trump. That's the whole left in a nutshell. The Democrats, it's only the party of pissing off Trump or anti-Trump, and it's gotten to just a new point of lunacy where we're like, wow, like, this party doesn't even exist anymore because they don't even have anything real. But all right, let's get to the next topic here. Trump is cleaning out the homeless encampments in D.C. Roll the clip.
This is crazy.
God, it's just so great to see this actually happening. Finally, Trump's coming up and just saying, yeah, we're cleaning it up. We're not letting it happen anymore. Everybody's, the homeless situation is such a touchy subject. What do you do? How do you handle them? This is exactly what you do and exactly how you handle it. You say, listen, You can't sleep here. You can't pitch your damn tent on the sidewalk anymore. I don't know why that ever became a thing in the first place. But yeah, you tell them, listen, you can't do this anymore. You either go get help, you go to treatment, you get therapy, or you go to jail, right? And Trump, of course, Trump just had to come in there and just show everybody how to set the tone. And this is how it's done, as usual, what Trump does. Because it's basically what Trump is doing is just common sense. Yeah, don't let the homeless people pitch a damn tent on the sidewalk, right? And this needs to happen everywhere across America. Now Trump is setting the tone. He's showing everybody exactly how it's done. And it's not like, oh, it's not just so terrible what he's doing. No, he's cleaning up the streets and he's making it hard for these people to live on the streets. Why are we catering to these people who are just a complete nuisance to society and have given society the middle finger, right? It's like they don't care about you, or even when you give them money, they like give you the quick like, oh, thank you, and then they hate your guts again, right? Because you're out living your life trying to be a productive member of society. And these people have just given up on life and given society the middle finger. Yet all these blue states and cities want to just cater to these people that hate you, right? They hate you. And it's a public health hazard, right? Where all these people are walking around with dirt and like feces on themselves, going into Starbucks and, you know, Panera Breads and just sitting down and, you know, sitting there for hours with crap all over them, getting it all over everything in the stores like Starbucks and Panera Bread, you know? So it's just, until everybody in America, all the states just adhere and do this, what Trump's doing, those states are gonna remain a shithole, right? That's how it is, folks. Until you say, yeah, no, we're not having homeless people just run the roost anymore, right? Because basically in blue states and blue cities, homeless people could just do whatever they want and they basically run the town because nobody's ever gonna do anything. You know, the police aren't ever gonna do anything because it's not worth it, right? They have nothing to lose. So in these blue states and cities, unless you have something to lose, we're not gonna mess with you. We're just gonna let you do whatever you want. And Trump's just saying, yeah, we're not doing that anymore. And he needs to do this throughout the whole nation and just make it so this is how it is throughout all of America so we can clean up America once and for all. But all right, that's it for today. Be sure to like, subscribe, and we'll be seeing you.